What's up, warriors? It's Rob Bill, the Holistic Renegade here, and welcome to Holistic Strength Yoga for Men's Yoga Tribe. And today we're going to do Hatha Yoga. And Hatha is Sanskrit and roughly translates to forceful. And Hatha Yoga is truly hardcore. It requires a lot of strength and stability and really cultivates a lot of strength, stability, and most of all, it cultivates resilience, your ability to adapt and bounce back from challenges physically, but also there's a lot of mental and emotional stuff that goes on here. This is just a few sessions into the beginners series, and whether you're a beginner, you're advanced, you've been practicing for a year, you consider yourself an intermediate, or just somebody who drops in, this is a wonderful class to jump into. What we're going to learn today is a side lunge, which in yoga is referred to as skandasana, and we're going to develop that and develop some awesome lateral movement and side-to-side movement and strength today. So what we're going to do is start with something really uncomfortable and terrible right off the start. Grab your mat and roll it up like a hot dog, or even a towel or anything like this to begin. And you can pause me if you need to. You can absolutely do that and then come back, press play when you're ready. You're going to start on your feet. We're going to take this hot dog and we're going to wedge it back behind our knees, that crease back there when we bend our knees. We aren't going to bend our knees and sit onto this thing, so we're squishing it between our hamstrings, the back of our legs, and our calves, and then rolling down to a kneeling position. You can use your hands on the floor here, untucking your toes to point them straight back, and then sitting back over that mat like you're going to sit your butt back towards your heels. This posture in yoga is called the hero pose, virasana, and truly you got to be a hero to hold it. You'll feel heroic when you let it go. Take your hands to your knees, untuck any bunched up flesh down there. Fascia's like a spider web. It's 95% water. It's actually gelatin. It's the fourth phase of water. Connects everything in your body. So if this is bunched up, you're going to have things that are bunched up in other places. We are going to bring the knees nice and close together and try to keep the feet away from each other. And press down into your big toe, your pinky toe. Trying to squeeze those knees towards each other a little bit. And happy tail. We want to untuck that tailbone. We don't want a sad or scared tail where it's tucked under. With the upper body, inhaling yourself nice and tall. Imagine there's a coat hanger in the back of your shoulder blades. It's lifting you up via a string through the top of your head. And exhaling to make that cat vomit sound. Zip your front ribs in. You can set your hands in your lap, you can cross your fingers, you can wave them around if this is uncomfortable. And right now, this little moment here of stillness is just about showing up how you are. If you're feeling tense, be tense. If you're feeling chill, be chill. If you're feeling happy, allow yourself to be happy, and if you're irritated, frustrated, angry, allow yourself to be those things. Whatever you are, be that. Stop trying to be somebody else. Starting to bring your breath in through your nose. Just allowing your breath to breathe you like a wave rolling in and rolling out. Noticing if you have any tension, any contraction in your jaw, neck, your shoulders. See if you can let that go. And starting to draw out your breath, breathing in just a little bit longer, deeper than usual. You're really drawing out your exhale. Breathing in long, deep, and relaxed. And out. This part of our yoga experience, it's called centering. This long breath, a 10-second breath, 5 in, 5 out, brings our heart into coherence. That's centeredness in your nervous system, balance between your alertness response, your sympathetic nervous system, and your relaxation response, your parasympathetic nervous system. Just by breathing like this, you can bring yourself into coherence and be response-able rather than reactive, adaptable rather than rigid, breaking under pressure like a dry noodle. You can breathe through discomfort like the hero pose, Virasana. If you can do that here, you can do it anywhere. Feeling your breath flowing so deeply through your throat, relaxed. It's like it's flowing through your heart. Without forcing it, imagining you can hear an ocean wave coming out of your throat. It's called your Ujjayi breath. Often you'll hear people teach it by constricting the throat, making that sound, but I am all about release, surrender, relaxation. I urge you to find it through that deep relaxation in your throat. As we hold this Virasana like a hero, performing your heart-focused breath. Noticing what's happening in the mind right now. It's probably telling you to take a break. You don't have to hold this. Nobody knows. You can say, hey, thank you for being here. That's really interesting. Love you. But I'm going to hold this. You may notice energy and motion in your body. Like my body wants me to wiggle right and left. That's interesting. Thank you. I'm going to sit here in stillness. Notice if your breath changes. And when you're ready, releasing forward the hands and knees, taking that mat or towel, setting it off to the side for a second, just sitting back into a full kneeling position. Notice how much space is back there now. Holy cow. What we just did is called flexion gapping for your knee. It's putting a little wedge back there to create space in that joint. And now if you have to pause me to roll your mat back out, go for it. If not, we're going to meet on hands and knees and go through a nice little hatha warm-up just to get some activation, to create some alignment in our body through some shapes. Wrists underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Grounded from your pointer finger underknuckle, that's called your ball mount, and your pinky finger ball mount. Imagine there's an egg underneath the heel of your palms. You're pressing down to keep that egg warm, but don't smush it. And check back through your knees. If you can see your feet there, too close together, slide them away from each other. That's neutral in your hips. Stretch the mat apart between your knees. Feel that activation through your hips. Hello, outside of the hips. Press the floor away from your palms like you're almost sliding yourself up off your shoulders. Now we're going to move into cat and cow. As you inhale, happy tail, tailbone lifts, roll your shoulders back, heart shines towards the front of the room, lengthening your belly. And as you exhale, reverse, squeeze your knees towards each other, tuck your tail, press the floor away from your arms, zip your belly button up with a little and tuck your chin in towards your collarbone, stretch into your back. Take some wiggles if you need it. Inhale, stretch the mat apart between your knees, tailbone lifts, happy tail, heart shines, lengthening into your belly. And exhale, squeezing your knees towards each other, tucking your tail under, press the floor away, rounding into your back, into our cat shape. And one more time, inhaling cow, tailbone lifts, heart shines, lengthen your belly. And exhale, cat, rounding over. And coming back to our tabletop. Stretch the mat, tailbone lifted, press the floor away, stretching the elbow band, belly zipped. From here, sitting our butt back towards the heels, pointing your toes straight back. Once you get there, taking a big in-breath, and exhale to zip your rib cage in, lay down over your thighs. Creep your fingertips out long overhead. It's like you're a zombie with no legs. You can only creep through your fingertips. Feel that stretch through your arms. We call that lengthen the shoulders. And ground through the balls of the fingers again. Don't smush the egg underneath the heel of your palm. Stretch the mat between the knees. Feel your hips. Breathe into your belly, the back of your ribs, your heart. Gently dome your arms like you could lift just your elbows towards the sky. And stretch that rubber band on the elbows again. Little child's pose, Balasana. At any point you could take this posture today. If anything feels like it's too much, and from here, using the strength of your arms, inhale, pulling yourself forward, and exhale down to your belly. Slide your hands underneath your shoulders. Point your toes straight back, pressing into the tops of your feet, especially big toe and pinky toe. When you press into your pinky toe, opens up the back of your hips. It almost spins your knees towards each other, creating space through your sacrum. Slide your hands down as far as they'll go. Heels of the palms could be in line with your lowest ribs, as long as it doesn't bother your wrists. Press down into pointer finger, pinky finger, ball mount again. And as you inhale, pull your rib cage up away from your hips. It's like you're resisting your hands down. Feel the length in your spine. Start to roll your shoulders back, opening your heart, peeling it up off the mat, little cobra. Breathe into the back of your rib cage. Imagine you could slide your shoulder blades away from each other like you're stretching that rubber band on the elbows again. Like you could slide your shoulder blades to the side of your body, pressing down through the tops of your feet. So your feet are anchoring you down as that strength through the rib cage and the arms pulls you up and away, getting length through your spine. As you exhale, releasing back down to the mat, releasing that cobra. Dig your toes under like you're about to do a push-up. Stretch back into your heels. Your knees will lift. And really stretch into your big toe. Oftentimes we try to escape our big toe. They're stiff because they're shoes. They're built like casts. And just like we did in our cobra, inhale, pulling your rib cage up away from the hips, but this time keep the heart pointing straight down. Press down into the mat like you're about to do a push-up. Stretch your chest open, feel your back working, and stretch that rubber band that's around your elbows again, like you could slide the shoulder blades away from each other. As you exhale, try to zip your belly in like you're pulling it away from the floor. Feel your quads. Feel everything working. This is called push-up prep. It's our preparation for Chaturanga Dandasana, which is floating off of the floor. Ooh, this is work. Relax your mouth. As you exhale, release down to the mat. And sit back for child's pose. Ooh. Yeah, it's a little bit of work. Again, stretch the mat between the knees. Get long through your arms. Little gentle dome and stretch the belt around your elbows. Inhaling yourself up to hands and knees, pausing in your tabletop. Ooh, let's get set up. We're going to do some lunging today. So let's do a nice low lunge. We'll step your left knee back just a tiny bit. One knee print. We're going to sweep your right foot forward to the inside edge of your right hand. Little lunge position. And then we'll lunge deeply into it. You might start to stretch in the front of your left hip. We call that your yoga groin. Press down into the top of your left foot hard enough to start lifting your knee off of the mat. Really press down into that pinky toe. When you do that, you're going to feel internal rotation through your left hip like it's pointing towards your right big toe. Keep that work. Find your left butt cheek, your left glute, set your left knee down, but keep all that activation. Ground it to the inside edge of your right foot even as you press your right thigh out into your right arm. And lunging nice and deep into your right knee, trying to reach it beyond your right toes without your right heel coming up. Cobra through your torso. 3 big breaths. Each breath might take you deeper. What we're doing is we're getting groundedness into our right ankle joint. Even into your hips. Left glute working, right leg working. Planting your hands and sweeping your right knee back to meet the left, tabletop. Take a couple wiggles there if you need it. When you're ready, we'll take the same little thing on the opposite side, sweeping your left foot forward, the inside edge of your left hand. Whew. From there, pressing into the top of your right foot, big toe and pinky toe, press your right knee up off the mat. Feel that extension through your right hip, your right glute. Really press down through the right pinky toe. You're going to feel how that spins your right thigh in, like your right knee is going to point towards your left heel. Keep all that work back there as you set that right knee down. Grounded through the inner edge of your left foot. Press your left thigh into your left arm. Hello, left hip. And lunge as deeply into your left knee as you can without your left heel coming up. You might find you drag your right leg forward. Cobra torso. Chest open. Stretch that rubber band that's pulling your elbows together. Stretch it out. Just a few big breaths here. Really work into your left ankle. Planting your hands. Sweeping your left knee back to meet the right. Whew. Right. Taking some wiggles, a little child's pose if you want it. And you can stay right where you're at. I'm going to turn towards the side of my mat here just so that I have some mat space. And I'm going to scoot all the way to the front of the mat. Same tabletop. From here, I'm going to sit back to a little kneeling position again, like I'm sitting my butt towards my right heel. And you might keep your hands planted here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to step my left foot out long to the side and try and ground through the outer edge of my left foot. Now you could be way up like this. You could be sitting back here too. I'm actually going to have you sit upright, so we're in a tall kneeling position. Press down through your right shin and try and stretch that mat towards the front of the room. Press down through the outer edge of your left foot so it's not lifting up like this. Make sure your left knee isn't locked, but it is straight. Big in-breath as we sit our butt back towards that right heel. And we'll exhale to try and sit right back up. And if it's easier for you to have your hands planted, you can do that too. Exhale, sitting back. Actually, inhale, sitting back. Exhale, shifting forward. Inhale, sitting back. Exhale, shifting forward. We'll take two more. Go with your breath. And then sliding that left knee back in, coming to a nice little kneeling position. We'll take the same thing on the other side. You don't have to move. I'm going to move to the back of my mat so you can see me. From this kneeling position, I'll drop forward to hands and knees this time, so we'll try getting into it a slightly different way. Send that right leg out long to the side, grounding to the sole of your right foot, especially the outer edge of that right foot. We don't want it up like this, otherwise we're dumping into your knee. And we'll rise up to that tall kneeling position, whether you're upright, hands free, or your fingertips are down. I'm going to do it without my hands this time so you can see it. We're going to inhale, sitting back, like we're sitting our butt back towards that left heel. And we'll exhale, rising up. Inhaling back. Exhaling up, keep the outer edge of that right foot grounded. Press the left side of the mat away so you're using your left hip too. 5 total. Ooh, and you might move like 1 inch in this, and that's okay. And after all 5, releasing that right knee down to meet the left, taking a little tabletop, taking some wiggles into the hips here. This scarf was a nice idea. I don't think I need it though. It is 40 and windy, but whatever. From here, get your tabletop set up. Happy tail, rib cage zipped in. Press the floor away through the arms. Think about child's pose arms here. Hands step 1 handprint forward, knees step 1 knee print back. Dig your toes under. Stretch the mat apart between your feet and your knees. Feel your hips working. And as you inhale, float your knees up off the mat. We call this beast pose in fitness. And as you exhale, lift your butt up and back, downward facing dog with bent knees. See if you can lift up all 10 toes, grounded to the balls of your feet. And then set down your big toe, your pinky toe. It's okay if you can't do it. Stretch that mat apart between your feet. Hello, hips. Usually when we do that, it spins our knees in a little bit. So just like the elbows, imagine there's a rubber band around your knees, squeezing them together. Press out into that rubber band. Notice your tailbone can untuck. It can get happier. Ground through the balls of your fingers. You might even lift the heels of your palms up. You don't have to. And then heels of the palms come down, but don't smush that egg. Child's pose arms. Press the mat away. Gently dome the elbows. Stretch the rubber band on your elbows. And finally, zip your rib cage in. This is downward facing dog. This is another resting posture here in yoga. You might get a good laugh out of that. And if you can keep your tailbone happy, you can try to stretch your heels back towards the mat. But if you can't, if your tail starts to tuck, then we're stealing range of motion in your back where it should be coming from your hamstrings. Keep this alignment, all this work through your legs, your arms, as you start to tiptoe forward, making your way onto your feet, half forward fold. Your hands can come up to blocks if you have them, or to your shins here. Ankles underneath your hips, maybe about one fist apart. Second and third toe pointing straight ahead, straight back through your heels. That's the center line of your foot. It's not your big toe, so it almost feels like you're a little pigeon-toed here. Lift your all 10 toes up again, just like downward dog. We're going through the same activations. Set your big toe and your pinky toe down. Gently grip the floor like your foot's little hand. If you can see your toes and they're turning white, you're gripping too hard. Stretch the mat apart between your heels. Hello, hips. Notice your knees start to turn in, so stretch the rubber band on the knees. Whoo, there we go. Happy tail. Inhale like you're lifting your rib cage up away from the hips, and then zip your rib cage in. Cobra snake. Now you can leave your hands down by your shins, try and stretch your chest open, and then stretch the rubber band on your elbows, or you can reach them back behind you, making the letter A. Stretch your chest open, stretch the rubber band on the elbows. This is a half forward fold called Ardha Uttanasana. Man, it's work. But I'm going to get you out of here. When you're ready, inhale, lifting yourself to stand. Keep all the activation. Exhale, arms down by your sides. Relax for a moment. Our warm-up's done. Ha ha ha. My clients are like, you're crazy. Warm-up is like a workout. I know. While we're here, let's set up all that same activation again. Lift your toes up, all 10 toes. Grounded to the balls of your feet and your heels. Set your big toe down if you can. Then your pinky toe, making a nice little tripod. Gently grip the floor with your feet. Keep that weight shifted back. If all of a sudden your hips shift forward, then set back up again. It's like you're sitting back into your hips. Stretch the mat apart between your heels. Stretch the rubber band on the knees. Imagine there's a coat hanger in your shoulder blades. You can even bring your hands to your front ribs. Inhale, lifting your rib cage up away from the hips. And as you exhale, zip your front ribs in. Stretch your chest open. Imagine that rubber band, squeezing your elbows together behind your back. Stretch out into that rubber band like you're sliding your shoulder blades to the side of your rib cage. Lift your gaze up like you're looking up over the horizon. And then release your arms down by your sides, palms facing your legs. Keep that space underneath your underarms because it's mountain in yoga, or Tadasana. This is the model for every single posture we do. Man, it's work to just stand. Holy cow. When you're ready, inhale, turn your palms out to the sides and lift your arms all the way up overhead. Exhale, zip your rib cage in. Stretch your fingers away from each other like you're stretching the skin of your palms. And same thing we did in child's pose. Arm bones lifted back, length by reaching up. Stretch the elbow rubber band. Notice, holy cow, I actually get taller here. My rib cage lifts more. Breathe into your ribs and zip that rib cage in. Legs still active. This is called Urdhva Hastasana, the upward hands position. And I dare you to do this for 3 minutes. It actually boosts your testosterone. How cool is that? Relax your jaw. Inhale, turn your palms out to the sides, and exhale, lowering your arms down like a wine bottle opener. Your head lifts as your arms lower by your sides. Back to mountain, back to Tadasana. 5 breaths. Chest open, space underneath your underarms open. Don't worry, I'm going to give you a break in a second. Smile. Exhale, relax. Whew, shake it out. That is a lot of work. A lot of alignment that you're cultivating through activation. I told you at the beginning, Hatha is hardcore. It is work Just want to go to a vinyasa class where I can just flow and hold my postures for a second. Holy cow, that'd be so easy. But we're not there for that. We're here to be the phoenix going into the fire so we can come out a whole new self on the other side of this practice. Again, Tadasana. Lift the toes. Ground through big toe and pinky toe. Gentle grip of the floor. Stretch the mat between your heels. Stretch the rubber band on the knees. Inhale, ribcage lifts. Exhale, zip the ribs in. Chest stretched open. Shoulder blades stretched away. Arms down by the sides, gaze lifted. Turn the palms out to the sides. Inhale, lift the arms all the way up overhead. And exhale, zip the ribcage in. Child's pose arms, we're getting that length. Press the sky away. Imagine your atlas holding the earth up. Stretch the rubber band on the elbows. Oh, holy cow, my arms get longer. Relax your jaw. Now we're going to have fun. You can always bring your hands to heart center if you need to. You can bring them out to the sides. We're going to inhale, shifting over to your right leg and lifting your left knee up towards your chest. Balancing on one leg. This is single leg mountain. Just a few breaths here. On your next out breath, take a big long step back into a lunge. Grounding your ball, your left foot. Stretch into your big toe. Don't let yourself collapse out to the left side, the pinky toe. Press back into that left leg, just as we practiced in low lunge. Feel your left glute. Ground through the inner edge of your right foot, pressing your right thigh out to the side so your knee follows your second and third toe. Arms lifted. Exhale, lunge deep. Lift your rib cage in. Like I said, Hatha, it's hardcore. We're going to hold this for a little while. Relax your jaw, smile. Heart-focused breath, draw it out. Through that smile, through this heart-focused breath, we cultivate effortless effort. It looks like what we're doing is so easy. We cultivate relaxed resilience, our capacity to overcome challenges. Just totally calm and relaxed. Don't worry, I'm going to get you out of here. Inhale, shift, lean forward over your right foot. Exhale, use the strength of your right leg to step you forward to upward hands. Big in-breath, nice and tall. Exhale, lower your arms by your sides. Relax. Tadasana, shake it out. Woo! Oh, that's work. Told you it was going to be a lot of fun today, didn't I? All right. Mountain pose, toes lift. Grip the floor with your toes. Stretch the mat between your heels. Stretch the rubber band on your knees. Inhale, ribcage lifts. Exhale, front ribs zip in. Chest open, back body open. Inhale, arms lift up overhead. Exhale, zip your rib cage in. Shifting over to your left foot. Inhale, right knee lifts, lifting it towards your chest. And hold here. Just like we practiced in low lunge with that left leg, we're pressing back. Find your left glute. Don't let yourself buckle into that left knee. Or do your best anyway. Internally rotating your right leg means your right heel is going to point straight down. If it's the heels coming across your left thigh, you're externally rotated. Holy cow, that's work. One more big in-breath. As you exhale, step back, long lunge. Might be like 3 feet back. Ground through your big toe, ball mount. Don't let that ankle collapse outwards. Big inhale, right leg extended, strong. Right glute working. Ground it through the inner edge of the left foot as you press the left thigh out. Exhale, lunging deep. Low lunge without that left heel coming up. Arms lifted. Rib cage zipped in. Smile. Relaxed resilience. Warrior. Inhale, shifting forward, weight over your left foot. Exhale, using the strength of that left leg to pull you to stand. Arms lifted, upward hands. Both feet down. Exhale, release your arms down by the sides. Woo! Shake it out. Oh yeah, the crescent lunge. Ashta Chandrasana. All right. We're gonna add some stuff here. But no worries. Like I had mentioned before, we're going to do some side lunging. So I'm going to invite you to turn 90 degrees to the side of your mat, left or right, depending on where you're at. Step in the center of your mat. Then you're going to walk your feet out nice and wide, make the shape of a triangle. About 1.5 to 2 times shoulder width. Point your toes straight ahead for a second. That might feel real funny. We've talked about that pigeon toe position. Spread your toes out, try and lift them up. Holy cow, my weight shifts back. We're doing Tadasana again in a wide stance. Press down through big toe and pinky toe. Knees unlocked. Stretch the mat apart between your heels. Holy glutes. Stretch the rubber band on your knees. Ooh, hips are working. Inhale, that rib cage lifts. Exhale, zip your front ribs in. Now to take our side lunge, we are going to change the position of the foot we're sitting onto. So we're going to spin that foot out 10 to 30 degrees. It's like we're pointing it just towards the corner of the mat. And then set up again. Big toe, pinky toe down. Grip. Press down through the outer edge of your left foot. Big inhale, tall through your ribs. Exhale, bend into your right knee. Sit back into an imaginary stool behind your right hip, sitting down into the side lunge. Hands can come to your heart or down towards the mat. Keep that outer edge pressed down regardless of what you see other people do in yoga. They do this crap. We're not going to do that today. There's purpose for it. It's not here. Not while we're building strength. Big inhales and exhales. Relax your mouth. Skandasana. Imagine those rubber bands are still on your knees. Press out into them. Right thigh, especially. Grounded through the inner edge of your right foot. Left knee and grounded through the outer edge of your left foot. Use the strength of your right leg as you inhale to lift you back up to center. Whoo, turn that right foot back in. Exhale, relax. Take some wiggles in the hips. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Feels great, doesn't it? I know it does. All right. Taking the same thing on the other side. Turn that left foot out between 10 and 30 degrees. You could be looking towards the corner of the mat. Your body's different than mine. Ground through big toes, both feet. Pinky toes, both feet. Press down through the outer edge of that right foot. Containment is all important. Big inhale, lifting tall. Exhale, bend into your left knee. Sit your left hip back into an imaginary stool back there, like you're sitting onto your left heel. Breathe here. Skandasana, the side lunge. Press down through the inner edge of your left foot. Press that left thigh out. It's like you're pressing out on that rubber band again. Press down on the outer edge of your right foot. Whoo. Again, pressing out into that rubber band. Imagine you're pulling the muscles from the inside of your right thigh or knee towards your butt pocket. Rib cage lifted. Zipped in. Relaxed mouth. Smile. Relaxed resilience, my friends. On your next breath, use the strength of your left leg, the strength of the inside of your right leg to lift you back up to center. Spin your left foot back. Whoo, shake it out. Oh yeah. Fantastic. Let's shimmy your feet back together in the center of the mat. Oh, shake the legs out. Turn to the front of the mat. Take a little break. Oh yeah. All right, friends. We're going to put these two together now. And I promise I'm done with your legs. Come to mountain at the front of your mat. Lift the toes, shift the weight back, grip the floor. Set up your legs. Spiral tension there. Rib cage lifted, chest and back body open. Relax your mouth. Inhale, arms reach up overhead, upward hands. Exhale, zip your rib cage in. Low lunge first. Grounding into your right foot. Inhale, left knee lifts. Single leg mountain. Exhale, big step back into your crescent lunge. Grounded into that big toe. Left leg strong. Right leg stable. Lunge in deep. Arms lifted. Rib cage zipped. Don't worry, I won't keep you here too long. Inhale, this time press through your right foot. Straighten into your right knee. And exhale, spin towards the left side of the mat. We're in our triangle position here. Oh, look at that. Adjust your feet. Toes pointing straight ahead, a little pigeon-toed. And then turn that right foot out 10 to 30 degrees. Ground through big toe, pinky toe grip. Ground through the outer edge of your left foot. Big inhale. Exhale, side lunge into your right side. Hands can come to the heart. They could be up overhead. Taking a few breaths here. Maybe fingertips are down on the mat too. Or hello, right thigh. Try not to do that though. To exit, use the inner left thigh and the strength of that right leg to inhale you back to center. And exhale to point that right foot straight ahead again. Arms down by the sides. Take a little shake. Pivot on your left hip, spin your left foot to point at the back of the mat. Take that weight into your left foot. You might bend into the left knee, leaning over your left leg, and step now to the back of the mat. Tadasana, facing the back of the mat. Shake, wiggle, whatever you need. Do the twist. And when you're ready, strong Tadasana. Set up your legs and your feet. Rib cage, chest, and back body. Inhale, arms lift, upward hands. And exhale, zip the rib cage in. Grounding into your left foot. Inhale. Right knee lifts, single leg mountain. And exhale, big step back into your crescent lunge. Strong through your right leg, stable through the left. Lunging deep. Child's pose arms. Rib cage zipped. Hello. Like I said, I'm not going to keep you here long. This time, press through the left foot. Inhale, straighten into your left knee. And exhale, spinning to the right side of your mat now. We're in that triangle shape again. Setting up for side lunge. Set up your feet, that little pigeon toe position. Stretch the rubber band on the knees. All right. Turning your left foot out 10 to 30 degrees. Getting that side lunge set up for that left side. Grip through the toes. Ground through the outer edge of your right foot. Big inhale, tall. Exhale, sitting in your left side lunge. Hands can come to the heart, or down to the floor, or up overhead if you're feeling fancy. Relax your mouth. Stretch the rubber bands. Pull the muscles in the inner right thigh towards your butt pocket around the side. Use the strength of that inner right thigh and that left leg to inhale you up to stand. And exhale, spinning that left foot back towards your front side, now your face. Exhale, arms down. By the sides. Shake it out. Woo. Turning your right foot 90 degrees to the right. Now it's pointing towards the front of the mat. Lunging into that right knee a little bit. Leaning over that right foot. Take the weight into that right leg. Stepping you to the front of the mat. Tadasana. The mountain. Congratulations, you're through the leg work. Let's set it up. Upward hands one more time. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, zip the rib cage in. If you can see, it's snowing right now. Big in breath. As we exhale, folding at the hips, reach the arms behind, half forward fold. Still stretching the mat between the feet, heels. Stretch the rubber band on the knees. Happy tail. Rib cage zipped. Chest and back body open. Big inhale. As you exhale, bend into your knees, plant your hands. Step it back to downward facing dog. Woo, 5 breaths here, my friends. Happy tails. Active legs and shoulders. And have some fun. Now as you inhale, shift your weight forward into a plank. Try to shift your shoulders forward to your fingertips. Stretching back into your heels and stretching into your big toes. Don't try to escape them by rolling your heels out. Just like Tadasana, stretch the mat apart between your feet. Stretch the rubber band on your knees and elbows. Press the floor away from your palms and shoulders. Don't smush the egg. Gaze lifted. See if you can stretch your chest open. Slide your shoulder blades to the sides of your ribs. And most importantly, zip that rib cage in. Imagine there's literally a fire pit underneath your belly. Try to zip your belly button in away from that fire pit and squeeze your butt. Smile. We want to be happy here. Heart-focused breath. Cultivating our relaxed resilience. And when you're ready, gently release your knees to the mat. Sitting your butt back towards your heels. Nice little child's pose. Take a little break. Whew. Nice job. A little bit of core work. Complements all that leg work. And guess what? We're not done. We're going to do it again. We might bring in a little bit more fun. Like I said, Hatha yoga is hardcore. Why can't we just do a flow where we hold that plank for a breath? Because you're a warrior, that's why. When you're ready. Coming back to tabletop. Digging your toes under. Inhale and lifting those knees up off the mat. Exhaling up and back, downward facing dog. Take a moment here. When you're ready, inhale, shifting back forward into your plank. Now I'm going to leave it to you. I'm giving you 0 cues here. Set it up like your Tadasana, your mountain. You know what to do through your feet, your knees, your belly, your palms, your elbows, your chest and shoulders, and where your gaze should be. You know how your mouth should be and how you should be breathing. You could even bring in a little biohack. Thinking of the one thing that makes you the happiest. For me, it's hugging my son. For some reason, it's over my left shoulder. Feel it shaking the arms. If you need to drop to your knees and hold the kneeling plank, you can. When you're ready, release to the knees. Sit your butt back. Child's pose. Whew. So much fun, isn't it? Do yoga, they said. It'll be fun, they said. I think we're about done for strengthening work for the day. What do you think? I thought so too. When you're ready, making your way through tabletop and onto your booty, onto your buttski, as I would tell my son. Oh, we're gonna sit like an L. It's the hardest thing for most people is just sitting upright. Try to slide your legs together. They can come apart if you need to. Reach back to your butt. Untuck one butt cheek at a time with your hands. And then press your hands down into the floor next to your pockets. It's like you're about to do a dip if you're familiar with a dip. Lift your toes up like you're trying to touch your shins with your toes. And press down just through your big toe. It'll get you resistant to the inner edge of the foot. Stretch the man part between your heels. Feel your hips working. And imagine that without moving, you can resist your heels back towards your hips. That's going to give you that happy tail. Again, press the floor away with your arms. Like you're going to lift yourself up. Pull those leg bones back into your hips. Chest open. And then stretch that rubber band on your elbows. Make space underneath your underarms. Big inhale. Belly, ribs, heart, gaze lifted. And zip your rib cage in. It's called Dandasana, the staff pose. And holy cow, it's work. Big in breath. As you exhale, release. Ooh, maybe you decide to walk your hands back behind you and lounge on back. Nice job. A little break here. I'm going to do a single leg variation of that. Let's bend your left knee. Plant the sole of your left foot on the mat and then let your left leg fall out to the side. So like you're making the shape of a 4. Take the sole of your left foot against the inside edge of your right leg, wherever that goes. Don't grab it with your hands, just go where it wants to go. And sit back up into that nice L shape now. Untuck your butt cheeks if they got tucked under. Press down through your left thigh. You might need a pillow here if it's painful in your left hip. Press down through your right leg. Toes lifted on your right leg. Big inhale, press the floor away with your hands. Keep that length through your spine. And as you exhale, start creeping those fingertips forward, laying down over your right thigh. This might be as far as you go. Or maybe, without losing access to your breath through your belly, if all of a sudden it's crunched up, you're like, I can't breathe, you're too far. But maybe you start to hinge over more. Reaching out for your toes without torquing yourself, forcing yourself into it. You can allow your back to start to round here, but still working to keep a happy tail. You'll probably feel your right calf, behind your right knee, but mostly your right hamstring. Maybe even your back. Some of my clients have really tight hips, so they're like, my left hip is stretching too. And then we're going to let go of some of that work. You got a lot of blood flow. A lot of lengthened tissues. Now we're just going to sit with it here. Let your breath breathe you. Think of that thing that puts a smile on your face. Notice what you feel, physical sensation-wise. You can even say to yourself, that's interesting, without judging whatever you're experiencing. Where are your thoughts going? What stories is your mind telling you? And is it trying to take you on some time travel? Something that already happened, or something that hasn't yet happened? Again, that's interesting. Letting go of any unintended tension in your neck, your shoulders. When you're ready, as you inhale, lifting back up to your seated, plant your hands. Exhale, send your left leg out long to meet your right. Pausing here in this relaxed L. No wiggling, no moving. Just notice the after effects. Often in life, when we come out of a stressful situation, we react. Right now, we're just going to watch the after effect of our stress, our strain in that stretch. And now, if you want to move, feel free to wiggle into it, responding after taking that pause for a moment. Now, when you're ready, we'll take the same thing on the other side. We'll bend into your right knee, plant the sole of your right foot on the mat, and then allow that right hip to open, that right knee falling out to the side, making that shape of a 4. Without grabbing your right leg, bring your sole of your right foot against the inner edge of your left leg. As far in as it can go without tugging your right leg in. It's amazing how when you're a little bit cold, as I said, it's snowing, all of a sudden your words get jumbled together. Press down through your right thigh, press down through your left leg, left toes lifted. Hands pressing into the mat for a moment. Inhale your spine long. And as you exhale, starting to tilt forward over the left leg, creeping your fingertips out long in front of you. Big inhale. Make sure we don't lose that breath in the belly, especially in the left side and right side obliques. If you crunch up there, then you're leaning too far into it again. Maybe you can get fingertips to toes, or maybe you can grab one wrist behind your foot or underneath the sole of your foot without losing your breath, without forcing, without straining. Coming back to that natural breath. Hello, hamstrings, calves, back. Anything you notice inside of you can use that little mantra. That's interesting. Or, oh, wow. You even laugh at yourself a little bit. That's interesting. Notice anywhere you're still gripping, you're still trying to control, you're still holding on. See if you can release that tension in your neck and shoulders. Relax your tongue. And when you're ready, inhaling yourself up nice and tall, planting your hands, and exhale, send that right leg out long to meet the left. Do not react. Do not move from here. Just notice the after effect. And I urge you to do this when you feel stressed later on today, later on this week. Now if you want to take some wiggles, Go for it. Whatever your body feels inspired to do, do it, even if it makes 0 sense. All right. Now when you're ready, scoot your butt forward, bending your knees, planting the soles of your feet, hug your knees, and roll on down to your back. Oh, yeah. Hugging your knees into your chest like this is called Pavanmuktasana, known as the wind-breaking pose, and I think you can find out why. And even while we're here, try to keep that happy tail, untucking it, which means you're almost pressing it down into the mat. And just for fun, let's find neutral hips, and that means you're going to squeeze your knees towards each other. And imagine there's a rubber band around your ankles, squeezing them together. Stretch out into that rubber band. You're gonna stretch your ankles away from each other. You're gonna feel the outside of your hips working. Holy cow, it's a lot of work. As you inhale, send your left leg out long beneath you. See if you can ground your left hamstring, your left heel into the mat. And take your left hand to your right knee. Reach your right arm out to the side like a T. Press down into your right shoulder blade. And as you inhale, really get long. And as you exhale, release that right leg over to the left-hand side of your body. Little supine twist, version 2. Version 1, we stacked the legs. Today, one leg is out long beneath you. It's allowed to spin towards the left side of the mat. So that right leg twists across to the left-hand side. Ground it through your right shoulder blade. Left hand's over the top of the right thigh, just assisting but not forcing. You might even lift your left hip, scooting it back a little bit. Deepen that twist. Imagine somebody's wringing you out like a towel. Your torso's twisted right, so your hips twist left. Relax your mouth. Feel your breath flowing in the right side of your rib cage. It's like the core of the earth. That magnetism is pulling your right shoulder down and pulling the inner edge of your right thigh down, twisting you deeper. Relax your mouth, your teeth, your tongue. Center your senses out. What do you hear? And smell. Do you taste? What do you feel on your skin? How interesting. When you're ready, gently, ever so gently, inhale it to unwind back to center. Plant the soles of your feet, come into a little bridge. You might find that you are way off to the side of your mat, so readjust to the middle. Notice the after effects. Don't rush out of it. Don't wiggle out of it. And then when you're ready, hug your knees in towards your chest. Pavanmuktasana, the wind-breaking pose. Hugging your shins with your arms. Let's find neutral in the hips. Squeeze the knees towards each other. Stretch the ankles away from each other. That's a little bit of work. Let's send your right leg out long beneath you. See if you can ground. That just means contact the ground with your right hamstring, right heel. Take your right hand to your left knee, the outside of your left knee. Big inhale, reach your left arm out to a T, ground your left shoulder blade. And exhale, releasing your left leg across to the right hand side of your body. Little supine twist, version 2. Keep that left shoulder down. You might feel strain in your left shoulder. If that's the case, that just means your left shoulder is coming ungrounded. Even if it's not the same as the other side, respect that. Make your twist a little bit more shallow. Maybe you lift that right hip up and scoot it back to deepen your twist. That right hand over the left thigh. Wringing yourself out like a towel, breathing into the left side of your ribs. The gravity of the earth pulling you down. There's just a little bit more gravity from the spot which you are laying in. Just tugging you down. Relaxing through your jaw. And for a moment, just coming to your senses. And when you're ready, gently, gently, gently inhaling to unwind yourself back to center, taking that little bridge position. Planting the soles of your feet, knees bent. No wiggling, just noticing the after effects. Now, if you feel inspired to take any movement, I'm going to take some windshield wipers. Take that now. Soles of my feet are grounded, just letting my knees fall over to one side and then the other, keeping the shoulders grounded. If you have any remaining postures you'd like to take, I invite you to take that now. And if not, meet me back in the wind-breaking pose, Pavanmuktasana, hugging your knees in towards your chest. Find neutral in your hips. Taking a few breaths here. Big in-breath. As you exhale, send your legs out long beneath you, relaxing your arms out to the sides. Whew. Taking our final posture of the day, Shavasana, the corpse pose. Where we're allowed to do absolutely nothing. If you're like me and it's 40 degrees and windy outside, you can cover yourself up with a little blanket. If not, just letting that breath take you away. Those waves of the breath rolling in, rolling out. And that's how they continue even without your influence, without your control. Even if it feels ridiculous, imagine yourself floating on the waves of the breath. Releasing any final tension you notice in your jaw, your forehead, chest. Just letting those waves float you away. When you're ready, taking a big in breath, bringing yourself back into your body and letting it go. Rolling that right hand side, hugging your knees in again, this time on your side into a little fetal position. Rest your head up on your right arm, on both hands. Feeling your breath flowing in the left side of your ribs, a heaviness as your body sinks down to the core of the earth. You just really got it figured out at the end to integrate all the work that we just did. It's almost like a blueprint for a perfect day. Keep all this length in the spine, all this openness that we've worked on. Use the strength of your arms to make your way to a seated position, any seated position. I'm going to take a cross-legged position. Just like we did in sitting like an L, untuck your butt cheeks one side at a time. So you can sit nice and tall. Press the floor away with your legs. Spine long, rib cage lifted and zipped. Chest and back body open. The model. I told you Tadasana is the model for everything. Gaze lifted. Relax your mouth, your neck, your shoulders. And inhale your arms out to the sides and all the way up overhead. And as you exhale, bring your palms together into heart center. Touch that heart space. This brings us into that state of coherence, balancing your nervous system again. It's like the yogis knew it 2,500 years ago. As we say in yoga, namaste, I see myself in you, I see you in myself. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for practicing. This has been a men's yoga transformation, MYT, restore practice, where we restore activation in the body. We create alignment physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and alignment in our lives so that we can actually move forward and create the things that we desire to create. We can burn away old programs, old patterns that are holding us back, pulling back into our old selves, and step into our highest potential by practicing Hatha Yoga, or hardcore through here. So thanks for being here today. Drop in the comments. Let me know if you enjoyed this at all and what really stood out to you. And if there's any areas that you need help. And if you want more of this, I have the free Men's Yoga Tribe group that you can join on Facebook. Just drop into the links. But I also have a 12-week program where we do a little bit of yoga, up to 20 minutes every single day. So at the end of 12 weeks, you've done 12 weeks of yoga and you come out the entirely different person on the other side. Share like this. You have an awesome day. Bye.